847 people watch the live stream as a diamond ring flashes across the screen. This is ours now. Leave. The woman doesn't look up. Her husband smirks at the black man standing in a tailored navy suit. You people always want something. Marcus Bennett stands motionless beside Table 1 at Azure Bay, Miami's most exclusive waterfront restaurant. His phone glows with the reservation confirmation. 6 weeks ago, party of 6, 8 p.m. sharp. The security guard checks his tablet, sees Bennett VIP in bold letters, then studies Marcus's face instead of the screen. The manager rushes over and apologizes to the white couple first. So sorry for this disruption. Then he turns to Marcus with a practiced smile. Sir, we have another lovely table inside. The live stream chat erupts. One comment cuts through the noise. This can't be real. Have you ever been erased while holding proof in your hand? These black stories, real-life stories of touching moments where life stories force impossible choices, happen every single day. What Marcus does next changes everything. Saturday evening, 7:47. Azure Bay sits where Biscayne Bay turns gold at sunset. $200 minimum per plate. Tourists photograph lobster. Locals come to be seen. Marcus reserved Table 1 6 weeks ago, not Table 2, not the corner booth. Table 1, the cabana, right on the water, where breeze carries salt and jasmine. His CFO had been clear. The Riyadh investors expect waterfront hospitality. In their culture, the best table isn't luxury, it's respect. The valet recognized Marcus. A small nod. The hostess checked her iPad and smiled. Mr. Bennett. Cabana Table 1. Party of 6 at 8. Everything was perfect until he walked onto the patio. Two strangers sat in his chairs, white couple, mid-40s, designer luggage stacked like territorial markers. The woman held champagne, blonde highlights, silk blouse. The man wore a polo shirt, collar popped. They looked settled, comfortable, entitled. Marcus approached. His suit cost more than most monthly rents. His watch caught fading light. He kept his voice level. Excuse me, I believe there's been a mix-up. This is my reserved table. The woman didn't look up. She photographed the sunset. We got here first. Her tone said the conversation was over. Her husband, Greg, set down his drink and leaned back, his arm draped across the chair. Listen, buddy, we've been traveling all day. Flight delays, lost bags, the whole nightmare. Talk to management. Marcus held up his phone. The confirmation email glowed. I reserved this 6 weeks ago for 8 p.m. It's in the system. Greg glanced at the phone, then Marcus's face. His smirk widened. System glitches happen. First come, first served. The word buddy hung in the air. The dismissive tone. The refusal to make eye contact. Marcus knew this texture, this weight. Chad Morrison appeared, 28 years old. 12 months as assistant manager. He carried a tablet and an apologetic expression. He checked the screen. His eyes moved over the words, Bennett, Cabana 1, party of 6, 8 p.m., VIP. Chad looked at the Pattersons, already seated, halfway through Veuve Clicquot. Then he looked at Marcus, standing alone. Phone in hand. Mr. and Mrs. Patterson, Chad said warmly. I'm so sorry for any confusion. Let me comp your drinks tonight. He turned to Marcus. The warmth drained. Sir, we have a beautiful table inside. Same ocean view, right by the bar. Marcus felt something shift in his chest, a familiar tightness. I need this table. Business partners arriving in 9 minutes. They requested waterfront specifically. Chad glanced at his tablet, then at the Pattersons. I understand, but these guests are already dining. Moving them would be disruptive. The word disruptive settled between them. Marcus knew what Chad saw. Not the watch, not the tailored suit, not the VIP tag. Just skin. 4 months ago, Phoenix. A conference steakhouse. The hostess couldn't find his reservation. She'd smiled apologetically and suggested he try walking in next time. Marcus left quietly. Didn't make a scene. Didn't demand anything. That night, his partner David asked why he hadn't fought. Marcus said he was tired. Didn't want to be the angry black man, but silence had cost him. It taught nothing, changed nothing. Next time would be different. Marcus checked his watch. 7:51. His CFO's text from 3 minutes ago, leaving Fontainebleau now. ETA 8. Saudis expect Table 1. Cultural protocol. Don't let me down. 340 million in hotel development funding. The investors weren't just wealthy, they were traditional. Right table, right hospitality, right respect. These things mattered. At the next table, Jasmine held up her phone. Her Instagram Live had run 2 minutes. Y'all, are you seeing this? They're kicking a black man off his reservation. Viewer count climbed. 1,200, 1,800. Comments flooded faster than anyone could read. Greg noticed the camera. His jaw tightened. Are you serious? You're making this some kind of race thing? Marcus pulled out his phone. Dialed. 1 ring. 2. A voice answered. Marcus spoke quietly. Back turned. Table 1. Azure Bay. Yes, no, don't come down. I'll handle it. He ended the call, slipped the phone into his jacket. The movement was smooth, practiced. Nothing about him suggested what came next. 7:54. 6 minutes until Marcus's investors arrive. 2 security guards cross the patio. Luis, mid-30s, ex-military posture. Brian, younger, hand resting near his radio. Chad had called them over. His face shows relief. Someone else can handle this now. Luis approaches Marcus first. Sir, I'm going to need you to take the alternate table, or we'll have to ask you to leave the premises. Marcus doesn't move. His voice stays level. I'd like to speak with the general manager. Brian steps closer. Not threatening exactly, just present. The GM's off-site tonight. Chad here is the ranking manager. He's made his decision. The positioning is deliberate. Both guards flanking Marcus, creating a triangle, a subtle pressure. The message clear. You're outnumbered. Greg leans back in his chair. Marcus's chair. Thank you, officers. Finally. Some people think rules don't apply to them. Marcus pulls out his phone again, scrolls through contacts, finds a name, presses call. What are you doing? Brian asks. Marcus holds up one finger. Wait. The phone rings twice. A voice answers. Marcus turns slightly away from the guards. His voice drops to barely audible. Yes, Azure Bay. Table 1 situation. No, stay where you are. I'll handle it. He ends the call. Slides the phone into his breast pocket. The movement reveals something for just a second. A flash of gold embroidery on the jacket lining. Then it's gone. Luis exchanges a glance with Brian. Something about Marcus's calm is unsettling. Most people escalate at this point. Anger, threats, demands. But Marcus just stands there, waiting. At the adjacent table, Jasmine angles her phone higher. Her livestream viewer count keeps climbing. 4,100. Comments scroll faster than anyone can read. This is wild. Someone call corporate. I'm recording this too. That couple is trash. Someone in the chat recognizes the restaurant. Tags the official Azure Bay Instagram account. No response yet, but the tag is there. Public. Permanent. A second diner starts filming. Then a third. 5 phones now pointed at table 1. The scene has become a spectacle. Everyone watching. Everyone waiting to see what happens next. Sloane notices the cameras. She sets down her champagne, leans toward Greg. Maybe we should just move. Greg's jaw tightens. No, it's the principle. We were here first. But all these people, let them watch. We didn't do anything wrong. 7:56. A woman in a designer suit pushes through the patio doors. Karen Stoltz, regional director for Azure Bay and 3 other South Florida properties. Her heels click against the stone pavers. Her face is flushed. She's been rushing. Chad straightens immediately. Ms. Stoltz, I didn't expect... I got a call. Karen's voice is tight, controlled. She glances around, sees the phones, the crowd, the live stream. Her expression hardens. She approaches Marcus first, extends her hand. Mr. Bennett, I'm Karen Stoltz, regional director. I apologize for this situation. If you'll follow me to my office, I'm certain we can resolve... Greg stands up. Excuse me, what about us? We've been sitting here peacefully and this guy shows up demanding our table. Karen doesn't look at him. Her attention stays fixed on Marcus. "Sir, please, my office is just inside." Marcus checks his watch. The gesture is slow, deliberate. "My guests arrive in 4 minutes. I don't need an office. I need my reserved table." "I understand. But if we could just discuss—" "There's nothing to discuss." Marcus's voice stays quiet, but something in his tone has shifted, an edge appearing for the first time. "I reserved this table 6 weeks ago, through your system. I received confirmation. I arrived on time, and now you're asking me to leave." Karen's smile looks painful. "I'm not asking you to leave. I'm offering a more private venue to—" "To what?" "To quietly disappear, to accept being displaced because it's easier than honoring my reservation." The patio goes silent, even the ambient noise, silverware, conversation, background music seems to fade. Greg moves around the table, plants himself next to Karen. "Are you seriously going to kick out paying customers for him?" Karen finally turns. "Sir, if you and your wife would be willing to relocate to our VIP lounge, I'll personally comp your entire evening." "Champagne, appetizers, entrees, dessert, that's not the point." Greg crosses his arms. "The point is you're discriminating. We're white, so we get moved. That's illegal." Someone in the crowd gasps, the irony thick enough to cut. Jasmine zooms in on Greg's face. Her livestream chat explodes. "Did he just—" The audacity. "This man really said that. I cannot believe this is real." Karen's caught. Camera phones recording every word. A crowd of 40 diners watching. A livestream with over 5,000 viewers. And at the center, 2 men. One white, one black, one demanding to stay. One demanding his reservation be honored. She does the math. Calculates the viral risk. The PR nightmare. The potential lawsuit. "Mr. and Mrs. Patterson," Karen says carefully, "I really must insist. The VIP lounge has—" "No," Greg's voice rises. "This is discrimination. Pure and simple. I want corporate's number. I want your supervisor's name. This is illegal." Greg. Sloane stands now too. Her voice urgent, quiet. "Let's just go." "No, principal. There are cameras everywhere. Good, let them see." Marcus watches this unfold. Doesn't interrupt. Doesn't add fuel. Just observes as Greg argues himself deeper. Karen tries again. Softer now. Almost pleading. "Sir, I'm offering you a complimentary upgrade." "I don't care about upgrades." Greg jabs a finger toward Marcus. "I care that you're treating us like we're disposable." "You don't have a reservation." Chad's voice cuts in. He's pulled up his tablet. Shows the screen to Karen. "They're walk-ins. I seated them at table 1 because it was empty." Karen's face drains of color. "You seated walk-ins at a VIP reserved table?" Chad falters. "The reservation wasn't until 8. You thought 30 minutes didn't matter." 7:57, Marcus's phone buzzes. A text from his CFO. "Pulling into valet now." "Where are you?" Marcus types back. "Table 1, 2 minutes." He looks up, meets Karen's eyes. When he speaks, his voice is quiet, certain. "You received a call 30 minutes ago. Someone told you to come here. You know exactly who I am." Karen stares at him, her face frozen. The crowd leans in, waiting. Marcus doesn't elaborate. Just stands there. Calm as still water, the standoff stretches. 30 seconds of pure silence, just waves hitting the seawall. Wind through palm trees. Louis shifts his weight. Brian's hand hovers near his radio. Chad grips his tablet. Karen's mind races. Greg stands defiant. Sloane looks like she wants to disappear. And Marcus waits, because he already knows what comes next. Marcus reaches into his jacket. The movement is slow, deliberate. Every eye on the patio follows his hand. He pulls out a business card. Matter black, simple. He extends it toward Karen. She takes it. Her eyes drop to read. The color drains from her face in seconds. Her hand starts to tremble. The card reads Marcus Bennett, founder and CEO, Orion Hospitality Group. Below that, smaller text, Azure Bay, Miami, Skyline Bistro, NYC, 14 properties worldwide. Karen's mouth opens. No words come out. "What does it say?" Chad asks. He moves closer, tries to see. Karen doesn't answer. She just stares at Marcus, her professional mask cracking in real time. Marcus speaks, his voice quiet, calm. "I purchased this property in June 2019, $42 million. The deal closed on a Wednesday. It was raining. The patio goes absolutely silent. Even the wind seems to stop. Jasmine's phone shakes in her hand. Her livestream viewer count climbs past 6,000. Comments flood the screen. Someone in the crowd gasps. Then another. The realization spreading like wildfire. Greg's face goes blank. His champagne glass freezes halfway to his lips. Sloane's eyes go wide. Her perfectly manicured hand covers her mouth. Marcus continues. Still quiet, still measured. You're sitting at my table. In my restaurant, on my property. You've been here for 43 minutes. Luis and Brian exchange glances. Brian's hand drops away from his radio. Luis takes a step back, creating distance. Mr. Bennett, Karen stammers. I had no idea you were. Why would you? Marcus's tone doesn't change. Doesn't rise. I'm just another black man, standing here, claiming something that doesn't look like it could be mine. The words land like physical blows. Karen flinches. Chad looks at the ground. A businessman at table 3 leans toward his companion. I knew I recognized him. Forbes did a profile last year. He's worth over $1 billion. The woman nods slowly. Orion Hospitality. He owns properties from Miami to Manhattan to Monaco. Jasmine hears this, zooms in tighter on Marcus. Y'all, Google him right now. Marcus Bennett. This man is a literal billionaire. Her viewers respond instantly. Comments pour in with screenshots. Forbes articles. Business Insider profiles. The proof multiplying by the second. Marcus turns his attention to the Pattersons. Greg and Sloane both frozen. Unable to speak. Unable to move. Mr. and Mrs. Patterson, Marcus says. His voice still hasn't risen. Still carrying that same devastating calm. You took this table because you could. Because you saw it was empty. Because when I asked you to move, you assumed I had no authority. No power. No legitimate claim, Greg tries to form words. We didn't know. Would it have mattered? Marcus cuts him off. Not with volume. With precision. If I'd shown you my confirmation email, which I did, if I'd explained I had guests arriving, which I did, would any of that have mattered? Or would you have found another reason why your comfort mattered more than my reservation? Sloane stands up shakily. We should go. Yes, Marcus agrees. You should. But Greg's pride won't let him leave quietly. Look, we made a mistake. We apologize. But you're being pretty hostile right now. Hostile. Marcus repeats the word, lets it hang in the air. I've stood here for 13 minutes. I haven't raised my voice. Haven't made threats. Haven't called names. I simply refused to disappear when you told me to. And you call that hostile. Someone in the crowd starts clapping, slow at first. Then another person joins. Then another. Within seconds, half the patio is applauding. Greg's face turns red. You're making a scene. You made the scene, Marcus says, when you took something that wasn't yours. When you dismissed me to my face. When you used the word buddy like it would put me in my place. You created this scene. I'm just refusing to edit myself out of it. Sloane tugs Greg's arm. Greg, please, let's just go. This time he doesn't resist. They gather their bags, their half-empty champagne bottle, move toward the exit. Every phone on the patio tracks their movement, recording every step. As they pass Marcus, Greg mutters under his breath. You didn't have to embarrass us like that. Marcus turns, looks directly at him. You embarrassed yourselves. I just decided not to absorb it for you. The Pattersons leave. The patio door closes behind them. For a moment, nobody speaks. Then Marcus turns back to Karen. My office. Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. sharp. Karen nods quickly. Yes, sir, absolutely, whatever you need. Bring your HR director. And bring Chad's employment file. Chad's face goes white. Mr. Bennett, I swear I didn't know. You knew I had a reservation. Marcus's eyes move to him. You saw my name. You saw the VIP tag. You saw my confirmation. What you didn't see was a reason to believe me. And that's exactly the problem. I was trying to avoid conflict. You were trying to avoid discomforting white guests. Marcus doesn't blink. You made a calculation. You looked at them, then at me, and you decided who deserved accommodation. That wasn't conflict avoidance. That was choice. Chad opens his mouth, closes it, opens it again. Nothing comes out. Luis steps forward. Mr. Bennett, sir. We apologize. We were just following protocol when management called for security. You were doing your job, Marcus says. His tone softens slightly. I'm not angry at you. But tomorrow, we're going to review what protocol means when a guest is being discriminated against. Because calling security on the victim isn't protocol. It's participation, Brian nods. Understood, sir. Marcus's phone buzzes. He glances down. A text from his CFO, at valet, walking up now. Everything okay? Marcus types back, perfect. Table 1 is ready. He looks at Karen. I need this table cleared and reset. Fresh linens, fresh glassware, fresh everything. 2 minutes. Karen snaps into action, gestures frantically at Chad. You heard him move. They clear the table in 90 seconds. A busser appears with pristine white linens. Another brings crystal glasses that catch the sunset light. A third places fresh flower arrangements. The transformation is complete. Marcus takes his seat, finally. After 16 minutes of standing, the chair feels earned. The patio slowly returns to normal. Conversations resume. But every few seconds, someone glances his way, whispers to their companion, takes a photo. Jasmine continues streaming. Her view account hits 7,000. The comments still flowing, still processing what they witnessed. At 7:59, Marcus's guests arrive. His CFO David leads the group. 3 men in traditional Saudi dress. They're laughing about something. Relaxed. They reach table 1. David sees Marcus already seated. Relief floods his face. Marcus! We worried when you texted. Small delay. Nothing significant. Marcus stands, shakes hands with each investor. Gentlemen, welcome to Azure Bay. Please sit. The Saudis take in the waterfront view. The sunset painting the bay in gold and orange. The gentle sound of waves. One of them nods approvingly. Beautiful location, he says in accented English. You chose well. Thank you, Marcus replies. I believe the best business happens when guests feel honored. Location matters. They don't know about the confrontation 16 minutes ago. Don't need to know. As far as they're concerned, everything went perfectly, which is exactly what Marcus intended. Karen hovers nearby, her face still pale, still shaken. Marcus gestures to her. This is Karen Stoltz, our regional director. She'll make sure you have everything you need tonight. Karen forces a smile. It's an honor to serve you, gentlemen. Our chef has prepared a special tasting menu. Excellent. One of the investors settles into his chair, Marcus's original chair, the one Greg Patterson thought he could claim. We're ready to discuss the proposal. Marcus opens his portfolio. Inside, architectural renderings of a hotel development in Dubai. 340 million in financing at stake. The real reason this table mattered. As the waitstaff brings appetizers, Marcus catches Jasmine's eye across the patio. She's still filming, still processing. He gives her the smallest nod. Permission to keep recording, keep sharing, keep telling this story. Because this is the part people need to see too, not just the conflict, the resolution. The black man who refused to be moved, now conducting business at the table he reserved, the table he owns, in the restaurant he built. Jasmine understands. She angles her phone to capture the scene, Marcus and his guests laughing, negotiating, existing in a space that tried to erase him minutes ago. Marcus glances at his watch. 8:04. The meeting is starting 4 minutes late. But it's starting, at the right table with the right message sent. He turns his attention to the investors, the renderings, the numbers, the future they're building together. At his table, in his restaurant, on his terms, Sunday morning, 8 a.m. Marcus's penthouse office overlooks Biscayne Bay. Floor-to-ceiling windows, leather chairs, a desk made of reclaimed shipwood. The space is quiet except for distant waves. Chad Morrison arrives first. Alone. Karen's text last night. Mr. Bennett wants to see you privately. 8 a.m., don't be late. Chad hasn't slept. Red eyes, wrinkled shirt. He knocks on the open door. Marcus sits behind his desk, reading his laptop. He doesn't look up immediately. Lets Chad stand there, waiting. Finally, Marcus closes the laptop. Gestures to the chair. Sit. Chad sits. His hands grip his knees. Tell me what you saw yesterday when I walked up to table 1. Chad swallows. A customer, with a complaint. Describe me. You were wearing a suit. Nice watch. You looked professional. My suit was Tom Ford, $4,200. My watch is Patek Philippe, $78,000. I approached calmly, spoke clearly, showed you confirmation with your company logo, VIP tag, timestamp. Marcus pauses. So tell me what you actually saw. Chad's face crumbles. I made an assumption based on my face, my skin. Marcus doesn't blink. You had all the information you needed, but you still chose to accommodate the white couple with zero reservation over the black man with proof. That wasn't conflict avoidance, that was bias. Chad's hands shake. I didn't mean intention doesn't erase impact. What you did was captured by 7 phones, 7,000 people watched live. By this morning, 42,000 shares. Your face is attached. Your name. You participated in discrimination at a property I own. Marcus leans forward. At 9 o'clock, HR will have your termination paperwork. Company Policy Section 4.7, immediate dismissal, no severance. Clear your workspace by noon. Chad's face goes white. Please, I have bills. My girlfriend and I just signed a lease. Did you consider my bills when you tried to remove me? The $340 million deal I was conducting. The Saudi investors who expect precision. Marcus stands, walks to the window. You didn't think. That's privilege. The luxury of not considering consequences. Is there any way to make this right? Learn. Recognize yesterday wasn't isolated. It was pattern. Make sure you never repeat it. Marcus turns, but not here. Your employment ends today. Chad nods, defeated. I understand. The door is behind you. Chad leaves. Marcus returns to his desk. Opens the file he'd pulled last night. Chad's employment record. 7 POC complaints over 14 months. Average response 48 hours. 11 white guest complaints. Average response 4 hours. The data doesn't lie. At 9 o'clock sharp, 3 people arrive. Karen Stoltz, Regional Director. Diane Ruiz, HR Director. 43 years old. 16 years with the company. Sharp eyes, Roger Penn, legal counsel, 61, silver hair. 3 decades experience. They sit around the conference table. Marcus connects his laptop to the wall screen. Yesterday, I was denied service at my own restaurant. We're discussing why and ensuring it never happens again. The screen lights up. A spreadsheet, color-coded cells. Complaint data from all 14 Orion properties. Last 18 months. 89 complaints from people of color. Resolution rate, 54%. 147 white guest complaints. Resolution rate, 91%. Diane leans forward. Her expression hardens. Average response time for POC complaints, 39 hours. White guests, 6 hours. Marcus pauses. This isn't isolated. This is systemic. Roger makes notes. This creates significant legal exposure. It creates moral failure, Marcus corrects. Legal exposure is secondary. Karen speaks quietly. I wasn't aware the disparity was this significant. You should have been. You're regional director. This data was available. You chose not to look. Karen flinches. Marcus advances slides. Management diversity across our properties. 68% white, 11% black, 21% other. Anonymous. Staff survey last month. 43% witnessed bias. 89% didn't report. Primary reason, fear of retaliation. The room feels heavy. Here's what changes. 3 tiers, non-negotiable. Marcus ticks through immediate actions. Chad Morrison. Terminated this morning. 0 severance. Karen Stoltz. 30-day unpaid suspension starting tomorrow. Bias certification required. Public statement issued by noon acknowledging failure and committing to reform. Karen nods. No protest. Short term. 90 days. 1. Third-party audit. Equal justice firm from DC. Comprehensive review. 2. Real-time complaint monitoring app. Guests and staff submit incidents. Auto-escalation if unresolved within 2 hours. Time-stamped. Tracked. 3. Bias incident review board. 5 members. 3 POs. 2 external quarterly reports to me. Diane types rapidly. The app will require development time. Hire more developers. Budget isn't a constraint. Urgency is. Marcus moves to final section. Long term. 6 to 12 months. 1 Chief Diversity Officer. C-suite position, reports to me, salary floor 250,000. Authority to override department heads. 2. Hiring overhaul. Partnerships with Howard, Morehouse, Hispanic serving institutions. Target, 40% POC management by next year. 3. Training replacement. Monthly workshops. Real scenarios. Role play. Facilitators with lived experience. 4. Equity-based performance metrics. Managers rated on balanced satisfaction across demographics. Top performers bonus pool. Bottom performers additional training or removal. He closes the laptop. Screen goes dark. Roger, I need legal teeth. Failure to meet 90-day benchmarks triggers board review of Karen's employment. Missed 12-month targets. We restructure executive leadership. Roger nods. I'll draft today. Diane, weekly progress reports, data, numbers, names. Who's completing training, who's resisting, who's excelling. Understood. Marcus looks at Karen. You have one chance. Use this suspension to genuinely change, not performatively. Actually examine your assumptions. Your patterns, your blind spots. If you come back and the same issues continue, there won't be a third chance. Karen meets his eyes. I understand. And I'm sorry. Marcus doesn't respond to the apology. Meeting over. Public statement draft by 11. I'll review before it posts. They gather materials. File out quietly. Marcus returns to the window. The bay stretches below. Boats cutting white lines through blue water. His phone buzzes. Text from David. Saudis confirmed. 300 matters approved. Contract signing next week. Marcus allows himself a small smile. The deal closed. The table mattered. The stand he took cost nothing and gained everything. He texts back. Excellent. Schedule celebration dinner. Table 1. Saturday night. The public statement goes live at noon. Azure Bay's Instagram posts it. Within minutes, thousands of comments flood in. Orion Hospitality acknowledges a service failure at Azure Bay on Saturday evening. A guest with a confirmed reservation was not properly accommodated. We take full responsibility. This incident revealed systemic issues in our training and accountability measures. We are implementing immediate reforms, including third-party audits, real-time complaint monitoring, and comprehensive bias training across all properties. 12,000 likes in the first hour. Comments range from supportive to skeptical. Jasmine shares it with her own note. Mr. Bennett doesn't play. Her followers respond with fire emojis. By Monday, Chad Morrison's LinkedIn is deleted. Twitter goes private. Screenshots of old racially insensitive posts from 2018 to 2020 surface. His digital footprint becomes evidence of pattern, not accident. Karen begins her 30-day suspension. She enrolls in court-approved bias counseling, not because it's required, because Marcus's words won't leave her head. Actually, examine your assumptions. Her first session is Tuesday. The facilitator is a black woman, 62, PhD in social psychology. She doesn't accept corporate speak or performative guilt. Tell me what you saw when you looked at Marcus Bennett. Karen struggles, stammers, eventually admits what she doesn't want to say, that she saw someone who couldn't possibly own the building, that her brain categorized him as threat before customer, that even after he said his name, she didn't connect it to the owner in company files. The work is uncomfortable. That's the point. Orion moves fast. Diane hires equal justice firm on Wednesday. 6 auditors spend 2 weeks interviewing staff, reviewing complaints, mystery shopping all 14 properties with diverse testers. Their 67-page report arrives. Marcus reads every word. One stat jumps out. 73% of POC guests reported feeling watched or scrutinized versus 9% of white guests. The report recommends eliminating coded dress code language. No urban attire gets removed from every property. Business casual gets clearly defined with diverse visual examples. App development starts immediately. 8 developers. Budget, $400,000. The Orion Accountability Tracker goes live 6 weeks after the incident. First week, 52 reports filed. A backlog of silenced issues surfacing. Marcus reviews the dashboard daily, color-coded by property. Azure Bay shows red. Skyline Bistro in New York shows green. One report catches his attention. A Palm Beach housekeeper describes being accused of theft. Security searched her bag in front of other staff. Found nothing, no apology. 3 months ago. She never reported it because nobody would believe me. Marcus calls the property manager directly. This happened 90 days ago. Why am I just learning about it now? No good answer. Suspend the security guard. Review your search policy with legal. Issue written apology. Document everything. Monthly training workshops begin month 3. Dr. Amara Singh facilitates. Columbia professor. 15 years specializing in organizational bias. Her sessions aren't lectures, they're scenarios. You're a host, a black family arrives with a reservation. A white couple without one arrives 60 seconds later. Who do you seat first? Managers stumble. It should be obvious, but they realize how often they've made the wrong calculation. One manager quits after the second session, says the training is too political. Marcus reviews the exit interview, writes one word, good. By month 6, hiring partnerships with Howard, Morehouse, and Florida International produce results. 29 POC candidates in management pipeline, 12 already hired. Azure Bay gets a new general manager, Maya Johnson, 34, black woman, Spelman graduate, hospitality management degree from Cornell. Marcus visits on her first day, shows her table 1. This is where it started, make sure it never happens again. Maya nods. It won't, not on my watch. The metrics prove reform works. POC guest satisfaction at Azure Bay climbs 34% by month 7. Glassdoor rating rises from 3.2 to 4.3 stars. Employee reviews mention finally heard and valued. Revenue increases 11% across all properties. Good press drives bookings. At the 6-month town hall, Marcus addresses 200 staff via video. We didn't burn it down. We rebuilt it smarter. That's power. That's legacy. Maria, a Latina bartender with 12 years at the company, unmutes. I used to dread complaint calls. Now I trust the system backs me up. Thank you. Marcus nods. Thank you for staying, for believing we could change. The intellectual victory is complete, not through anger, not through lawsuits, through systematic data-driven reform that makes discrimination impossible to hide. 8 months later. Marcus sits at table 1, alone this time. Sunset paints the bay gold and amber. His laptop open. 3 hospitality chains requesting to license the accountability tracker. He approves all, makes the software free. His phone buzzes. Jasmine texts, "My journalism professor is using your story in class, teaching citizen journalism and accountability. Thank you for letting me film." Marcus smiles, types back, "Thank you for bearing witness." The video has 2.4 million views now, turned into case studies at Harvard Business School and Cornell. A Florida state representative contacted him. She's drafting the Hospitality Equity Act, mandates bias training and complaint transparency for restaurants with revenue over 5 million. Marcus agreed to consult, but legacy isn't legislation. It's Maya texting weekly photos. Interracial couple at table 1 tonight. They chose us because of what you did. It's the Palm Beach housekeeper finally reporting theft accusations. It's the bartender who stopped dreading complaint calls. It's 12 young black hospitality students Marcus mentors quarterly. He shares his story, not the billionaire part. The part where he stood 16 minutes refusing to disappear. One student, Deshaun, asks, "What if you didn't own the restaurant?" Marcus considers carefully. "Then I document everything. File formal complaints. Leave detailed reviews. Contact corporate. Use every tool available. Power isn't just ownership. It's refusing to absorb injustice silently." 3 hotel chains adopted similar reforms. Marcus keynoted an industry conference. 2,400 attendees. Standing ovation. One white hotel manager approached after. "I was Chad 5 years ago. Different restaurant, same assumptions. Your story made me face what I'd done. I'm learning now, changing, thank you." Marcus returns to the present. The laptop, the sunset, table 1 beneath his hands. He thinks about his mother. She cleaned hotel rooms 30 years. Invisible labor, invisible woman. She never saw him buy his first property, but he knows what she'd say. "Baby, you didn't just build buildings, you built dignity. That night matters." not because a billionaire got his table. Because the system that tried to erase him couldn't survive the light. These real-life stories, black stories that become touching stories because someone refused to vanish, they're not entertainment. They're evidence. They're blueprints. They're life stories proving dignity doesn't negotiate. Have you witnessed discrimination? Document it. Report it. Share it. Comment your story below. Share this video with someone who needs to see quiet power. Subscribe for more stories of people who rewrote rules by refusing to disappear. The next table, the next room, the next moment of injustice. That's where you decide. Silence or change, erasure or evidence. The choice has always been yours.